Hello everyone, Tanak here. Welcome to episode 101 of Building My Industrial Empire in EVE Online. Let's start with the progress report. As you can see, my net worth plus that of the corporation is now at 225 billion ISK. If you look at the tracker here, it is a little less than last week. So it's second week in a row that we go down, and to be honest, I don't understand why this time. Value here. I personally, my own value has dropped like 1.5 billion HISK. It shouldn't. I lost one ship this week, and I know I made enough money riding to pay it back, and I didn't have any asset flowing out. So I'm guessing part of that is drop in price, drop in market value of item, maybe mineral stockpiles and stuff like that, which drop it. I will need to take a look, because we're at 5 billion less than last week, and that shouldn't happen again. Might be some material that are in transit. Stuff like that. I know that we did purchase a bunch of fuel block this week, so we'll get to see. But if I'm looking just at wallet per se, we shouldn't have. We're actually wallet size are higher this week than they were last week, so I'm not too worried about it for now. So I guess we'll see how it goes next week. But again, no biggie at that point. Now, HR. You can see here that our number of online member is now, our number of member is now 363, which is 5 less than last week. We did have one member that left. The rest are mostly like alt. That some people sometimes they like, well, you will add an alt in corp, you will remove it, and so no big change. We didn't have any big influx of new player. Again, where there's always some new player, but nothing that is that big that will move the needle significantly. So typical attrition. We did at one point peak at 82 online member. During the big war we fought this week, active in 7 days. Now we're at 74, so we're basically moving between 70 and 80. The biggest peak we had was 82, so it is pretty healthy, bigger than we were like a month ago, and like that's the problem when you're starting to check at these indicators week after week, is you get like local variation that you can't like take those. You have to take like a long-term trajectory, and long-term trajectory we're growing. What we do have right now also is a few of our members that are dealing with real life issue that aren't in game, and it is perfectly normal in a game like EVE to have player that will take time on and off the game. It's a long-term game. It is involving in terms of the time you have to commit to it. So sometimes people will have a period where they have to work more, or they have stuff to deal with at home more. So your number will vary a little bit in time. Some people will come back and play more. Some people will take a little step back and come back later. So basically, a day-to-day life of a corporation in the game. So that's pretty much it for HR. All in all, still going good, and we're still recruiting as usual. Battle or war, what happened this week? When I left you last week, we had just protected our space against another attack by Fi.Re coalition. So we successfully defended our space last week. During this week, they came one night and with around 100 and a little more than 150 people to toast a high hub. We couldn't get the number we wanted to for a quick form. We did manage to play with them a little bit, like slow down the toast with jammers and stuff, but with the amount of people they had, we couldn't keep them from reffing the high hop. So they did manage to ref GJO again, and we had a battle to fight against them to defend the high hop. So we did punt the timer, like we didn't form and commit hard to fight the actual entosis, the initial toast attempt, but we did form up to fight the fleet battle with Wrecking Crew. So where is it? That's the one here. So it ended up being Wrecking Crew against Fi.Re. We were in mostly Typhoon. They came with Munin, and we traded pretty evenly. Dockworker and Ardnox did came to play around and shoot some toaster. They were mostly shooting fire toaster, so you could say that they were fighting pretty much on our side at that point, because they targeted mostly the enemy toasters, but they weren't formed in fleet with us. So that's pretty much the fleet versus fleet was pretty much our Typhoon fleet against Fi.Re Munin fleet, which came out. The big fight came out pretty even, like around like close. Yeah, it's not dead even. They won the disc battle by 1 billion, but we won the score. So we won the actual objective. So we protected ourselves. That was last Tuesday, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So right now we did manage to protect ourselves again from this invasion, and we are keeping the ADM pretty. We are keeping the ADM pretty high in our pocket, just to make sure that trying to invade us is still problematic and not fun for the invading group. So that's about it for the big war. Aside from that, well, again, lots of typical small battle, like people coming in and our guys forming and fighting these groups. So we do get, sometimes we lose them, like here. And sometimes we win them, and sometimes they accuse us of blobbing, but it's our space, so I'm not gonna turn away somebody that wants to get on a kill mill. You go to somebody else's sov in space, you can expect to be blob, and that's kind of it's not Space Jewel Online. So that is what happened. But all in all, good week. Good weeks, lots of good fight. My weekly progress was 41 ship killed, 2 ship lost, well, 1 ship and a pod. So I lost to Yugen this week during that was the big GJO fleet battle. That was my 1 loss for the week. The rest was ship kill. So all time I'm at 78% dangerous. Again, I'm not claiming I'm the best PvP pilot, and not at all. I'm carried by my friends. I'm just good at finding good friends. WOMP in itself, weekly 43% dangerous. Weekly very positive on ISK, and on actual ship number. Less on point. WOMP is notoriously bad on point, because we do have some people that try crazy shit or try to get into some solo fight and stuff like that. So you will typically see like one-on-one we are doing like the way points work on the kill board. For those that haven't looked at it too much, is basically a solo kill is a lot of point, and we do have a few of our players that are willing to risk ship just for lulz or to find out if it works. So it does hurt on the point wise, but overall still a good week. So it is within our lifetime average. And recent, I don't know recent how long that period is, but it, we're in a good situation right now. Again, that's pretty much it. And for the war part, now industry. This week we did have a little more trouble to actually get member to mine Moongoo and stuff like that. Seemed to be like a little mining fatigue or industry fatigue in the group. That is kind of normal again. So we were again fighting a soft battle. So our people are mostly interested in fighting this week. We do again the series name building my industrial empire, but right now it's more being a CEO of a corporation that does PvP and also builds stuff. So the industry this week or even the past month hasn't been at the forefront. Part of that is due to scarcity, due to the change that were made. Part of that is just that our guys enjoy fighting, so we're fighting too. But again, not much that happened on that side this week. Now, me personally, what I'm doing. Just check my skill point here. I'm at 64 million skill point. I am training Command Burst to get into Command Destroyer. I'm suffering from the lack of focus in my skill point where, okay, I wanted heavy drone. Oh, Command Burst look cool because I want a Command Destroyer, so I'm just putting stuff in front. Exactly what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't copy what I'm doing with my skill point. I'm playing like full idiot mode on my planning here, but Command Destroyer looked cool, and I wanted to get Command Burst up, so I started doing that. Most of this stuff is like things that I say at some point I want to train, but just no priority here. So I will go with what I feel like it during a week. That's pretty much it. What can you expect the next following week? Well, hopefully more member, hopefully some good fight, hopefully industrial change that makes sense, even though what we saw so far is so-so. Oh, more the same. We're in a situation where I think a lot of people are kind of looks like the game is in a weird state right now, where especially on the political side, where people are kind of waiting to see if there's going to be some big move or not. But all in all, I'd say keep chugging along and keep playing week after week and keep making sure that my member have a nice place and they have fun in game, which is in the past few weeks have been pretty fun. We can't complain. We're lacking content. We got stuff to do regularly. We got fun fleet battle, fun small scale encounter, good stuff to do. So that's pretty much it. Aside from that, news, I usually don't comment that much on the news, but I did read that NSH got AWOCs by their own ex-CEO or something like that, and they look like they are losing member, which is it's always like those big situation like that. It's always like incredible to look at that and say, like, how could something like that happen? We've been in a situation not to that scale, but we did get suffered an AWOCs before, and I know that sometime like for a member it can be really bad. But right now, if you look at the actual alliance here, I think where are they lost like what? They lost all their sub. They destroyed their high hub, and they basically like every corporation left the alliance except the Executor Corp. So that's kind of a big news for what's happening in the universe right now. I know that NSH was always kind of a rival, or at least they saw themselves as a rival with Wrecking Crew. And they did try to. We were at war with them for a while. That had stopped. We haven't fought them for a significant amount of time, but now, I mean, these stuff happen. So I guess we'll see where these pilots go and what's happening, or they're reforming under a new name because they lost control of their Executor Corp. I guess that's something we'll see later. Anyway, I'll stop rambling on. Some show cover the day-to-day news a lot better than mine, so I'm just covering the WOMP perspective. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy. It was a little shorter than usual, but that's what you get this week. Anyway, if you got any comment, any question, feel free to ask. I'm always reading every comment. I'm answering my message in game. Always happy to talk with people, discuss politics, discuss WOMP. So just don't hesitate and reach out if you need to, if you want to. So have fun and see you next week. Bye bye.